I've been wanting to visit Havana for ages. It doesn't take long to see that it is beautiful, ruined, and the sexiest place on this earth. Now that's all rather good, but I've come to find out about an organic revolution that's taking place right across the country that could be a model for the climate-changed post-oil world. Around a fifth of Cuba's population live in Havana. It's a city that's undoubtedly seductive and exhilarating, but suffering from decades of neglect. It's a very beautiful city because it's not what I call facelift beauty, manicured and tweaked. It's like a wonderful face on a 70-year-old woman. A lifetime's worth of beauty that's accumulated. As you travel around the city, you do get a sense of a place frozen in time. Most of the vehicles are pre-1959, lovingly maintained, and they add hugely to the city's charm. But among the decrepit buildings of the old city, there is a strange pairing of decay and healthy growth. Hola, buenos dias. This might seem an unlikely place for a garden, but actually it's both incredibly interesting and also very typical of what's going on here in Cuba. After the Russians withdrew their economic support at the end of the 80s and the collapse of the Soviet Empire, Cuba was found in a situation where they had no food. They absolutely had to start growing food without oil, without fertilizers, pesticides, and so all across the city, with a communal effort, they turned bits of wasteland into highly productive areas for food and medicine. They had no medicines. And so what you have now is not just a population growing its own food in the middle of a city, but actually one of the most sophisticated, sustainable means of organic growing, of gardening, medicine, on every level in the world. Right in the middle of the crumbling colonial grandeur, a genuine green revolution is taking place in the form of small productive gardens called huertas. These are the equivalent of our allotments, but built on derelict land, and they are the basis of a new gardening culture that is sprouting up all over the city. Alberto's huerta is typical of many in Havana. The building that stood here collapsed, so Alberto and his brother-in-law cleared the site and brought in the soil in wheelbarrows to build the raised beds, even though they didn't own the land.
We took the huerta because we came from a family of farmers. So, when we saw the empty space here, we agreed to grow plants. It was for a hobby and to give produce back to the community.
When the special period began, did that change the way that you gardened?
Well, I had to start more or less inventing, because the climate here changed a lot. And because of the need, we have to grow quick-growing plants so the community could benefit.
After leaving Alberto, I realized that much of his passion for gardening is driven by his desire to work with and for his local community. His huerta is open and part of the street, which is very different from the private sanctuaries we like to create in our own gardens. The urgent challenge of feeding its 11 million people during the special period meant that the Cuban regime needed to do something on a much larger scale than Alberto's huerta. So kitchen gardens, or organiponicos, were set up in the heart of urban communities. One of the largest of these is in the suburb of Alama, on the outskirts of the city. To me, this is a sort of vision of heaven. Wonderful vegetables, grown organically. It looks beautiful. People all working together from the community, growing them, earning a living, eating them, caring about it. That's the key. If you want to do something well, you've really got to mean it, and this place means it. Now, you might argue that this is not a garden, but there's nothing that goes on here that doesn't happen in every garden or allotment back home. It's just expanded out to meet a dire social need. It's the resourcefulness of the Cuban people that have made this organic revolution work, with engineers and bureaucrats going back to the land. Dr. Funes is an agronomist and a key figure in Cuba's green revolution. He's agreed to introduce me to some of the people here.
Emilio, ¿cómo estás? Montidon de la BBC, and Emilio is an engineer. He's in charge of the pest and diseases control.
And what's he spraying?
Applying humus liquid and smoke, neem smoke.
Smoke liquid?
Yes, to control pests.
Neem 3.
Right, so natural pest control. Miguel Sacines was one of the 4 men that set up the Organiponico 10 years ago. He used to work in an office, but now runs this incredibly successful garden. He's agreed to show me some of the plants and organic methods that they use here.
Este es el centro de materia orgánica.
This is where we made the compost.
El cantero.
The raised beds guarantee drainage.
Ah, the husk from rice. What do you use this for?
Eso es para la elaboración.
We use this to produce compost for seedlings.
Esas son cámaras o canteros.
These beds are where we made the worm humus.
Beautiful. One of the most fascinating aspects about Alamar is that it's for city dwellers and run by local people, which has huge social benefits.
This has had great social impact. It's created jobs with relatively little investment. And on the spiritual side, the city is more beautiful. Many young people used to think agriculture is not cool. And originally, not many people wanted to get involved. Now, most of the people coming to us are young.
Meanwhile, in other countries, there is an exodus from the field to the cities.
But here is the other way around.
All the produce from the garden is sold locally, so it's fresh and wonderfully nutritious. And because the transportation in all directions is measured in meters, not miles, the carbon trail is minimal. I think this place is a model. I think everything about it is completely wonderful. If we could bring this same attitude to our back gardens back at home, our millions of back gardens and allotments producing wonderful vegetables, just think what that could do to change the whole structure of our approach to food. So it's an inspiration, it's beautiful, and okay, I'm biased, but it's a fabulous garden.